Even from Azure portal also, we can create the Databricks cluster. They have enabled that access to create the cluster. You can go and create the standard Databricks. From the standard Databricks, you can select the cluster type, no, single node. Even that is also possible. Recently, they enabled that access to create the cluster from Azure Databricks. But the same single cluster means the same. One driver, zero worker. The same configuration. The community Databricks, same configuration. Only they were added into the single cluster.
Um, Bro, any libraries we will load while creating the cluster in real time?
No need. And
No need.
libraries means depends on your requirement, right? If your requirement requires any additional libraries, we should install it,
So while creating cluster only.
right? Not cluster. Post cluster also you can. Otherwise, inside the cluster also you can import the libraries. Go to cluster. What happened? Here, right? Maven repositories. Here you should select which package you want to install, right? So this is one of the way. Otherwise, go and use in your code pip install. Depends on your library you can use. Inside your code only, you can do these commands. During your code execution, these libraries will install. Yes, you will not use the standard cluster, right? You will always Java cluster, right? So during that
Yes.
code also, you can do that execution. You can import. For example, if you want to execute maybe data factory pipelines, for example, so default the data factory pipeline execution libraries are not available, right? The Azure libraries are not available. Then you should install during your executions. You can go with pip install because here you are not using any interactive cluster or all-purpose cluster, right? You're using the job cluster, right? So the job cluster always it will create in the runtime. It will execute your code. It will terminate, right?
Yes, yes.
So you should include your installation activity as a part of your code. Like you can go with pip installed or that library. Okay. dot load. So this is my data frame creation. Let me see the display of df underscore src. So this is my data. Alright, this is my data. I want to write the data into my target location. Alright, df underscore src dot right mode. Let me use mode append. Let me use mode append dot format. Let me use parquet. Dot save. File store tables parquet dot customer. Right, you will see the 4 files, right? Underscore success committed started, these are the default files. Next year partition file, right? Because depends on your number of partitions, it will create a number of part files. Now this data is in Parquet format, more compressive format. Here the compression method is snappy, right? Here you will see the data plus the bottom record, right? You will see the your metadata information, right? You will see that your metadata information. So while reading the data from that your Parquet, no need to mention your right option equal to header equal true, right? Because it is a schema on read, right? Because the Parquet is a schema on read, so no need to use. Okay, I want to create one table. I want to create one table. On top of it, this Parquet file. I want to create one Parquet. I want to create one table. On top of it, this location. All right. This location. Otherwise, we can use percentage SQL select star from Parquet dot. Right. This is also one of that way to read the your Parquet data. Right. Select star from Parquet dot your operations. Right. Parquet dot your operations. So this is also one of them. These are called your unmanaged tables, right? These are called like your external table, right? Like your external tables, right? So I'm using that the Parquet method. I'm using that Parquet method dot backcodes. Within the backcodes, you're using that, right? Here Parquet the target location path, right? Target location path, right? You're able to see the data, right? You're able to see the data. The next one, no, I don't want to use this methodology. I want to create one manager table, right? I want to create, this is unmanaged table, right? This is unmanaged table means you will not see the table in your inside the your hive metadata or your spark metadata. You will not see this information, right? Because you're creating the you're executing your select query on top of it your target location. There is no physical table, right? This is one of the methodology inside the Spark skill. you can execute your queries on your file system. So these are called unmanaged tables, right? Unmanaged tables by your Hive metadata, Hive metadata. But I want to create the table. I want to create the table. How can I create the table? Percentage SQL, create table, right? Create table. What's the table name? Let me go and create this customer table. Right. Customer ID equal to integer. Customer name equal to string 3 or string integer. Right. If you want to, you can drop table. Right. Drop table if exist. Right. If in this way we can create the table, you can insert the data into your customer table explicitly, right? Explicitly. But I don't want to insert the data. So this is your managed table by your Hive metadata, right? Your Hive, because physically you're creating the table, physically you're creating the tables. But you want to insert the data, this table from this file path, all right? From this file path, from this file path. How you create using, I think, syntax Parquet, right? The location. What is that location? Let me try to. But let me see the data, right? Let me see the data percentage SQL. What is the table name? Cust table. Right? This is a table, right? Cust table. Right. Column values, dictionary. Now I'm able to see the data, right? Now I'm able to see the data because this is your manager table. This is your manager table. I'm creating the table using Parquet, the location, right? The location means I'm requesting to the Spark to please create this table, but insert the data into this table from this path. Right? So from this path, please insert the data, right? Please insert the data into this table from this path, right? Let me change the data, right? Let me change the data, right? Customer data. Let me create few more records. CIDC indication. Let me create one more file. Now you're able to see the two records. Let me execute. Let me use the append operations. Let me read the data. Let, let me execute because multiple files are available. Let me execute. Let me run this table. DNO expected string type. We create a string only. Parquet column cannot be converted column DNO expected string type. Cannot confirm DNO expected string type found in tier 32. Okay, let me read one more time. The main file. So this is your first file. Let me use append method. Append df underscore tgt dot display. That all are string data types. I'm able to see the 9 records. Let me see. I'm able to see the 9 records. I'm able to see the 9 records. Let me execute. Let me see the data first. But you're able to see that only 3 records, not a previous table, right? Because you haven't to perform that insertion, right? You haven't to perform that insertion. Let me execute this query. Let me execute. Now you're able to see the data, right? 1, 2, 3, 101, 102, 103, 4. All right. The 9 records you're able to see, right? The 9 records you're able to see. Because each and every time, if you want to create the data, right? If you want to create the data, you have to execute this query, right? You have to execute this drop table if exists, the customer table. Then you have to recreate this table location. All right, then you should use that location, right? You should use that location. Then only you're able to see the data. Then only you're able to see the data. For example, if I'm using the latest file again, you should execute this table, right? You should execute this table because this is that mandatory step, right? This is that mandatory because every time your location has been changed, right? The location means you're adding the new files. But if you want to create the table, your manager tables, right? You have to use the drop table if exists, your customer table, then you have to use that your location, right? Then only you will able to see the data, right? For example, let me create the same file, right? Let me create the same file. Now again, you're adding 6 more records. All right. You're adding 6 more records. It should be 15 records. Right? It should be 15 records. All right. The customer table. Right. Now you're not able to see the 15 records. You're able to see that only the 9 records. Right. You're able to see that only 9 records. For example, percentage SQL, metastore, consistency check, repair, or the table cost table. Let me use this command. I have to create the partitions. Let me partition the data. This is the first one. Creative using location partition. Let me check if the partitions are created or not. The file system, file store, file store, custom login, tables, Parquet data, customer. All right. Now country equal to India. So this is a partition by right. Based on your partitions, you're able to see the data. All right. You're able to see the data. There are three partitions are created, right? Because while writing the data, df dot write, I'm using the partition by your column name, right? Which column? The country column. All right. In case we want to see the data, all right. Control C. Control C. Percentage scale. Select star from Parquet dot backwards. Let me execute. Now you're not able to see the country column, right? Only four columns, but your file contains five columns, right? Your target also contains five columns, but you're reading the data from which file? Country equal to USA, right? Country equal to USA. So that's why you're not able to see your country column because you're reading the data from the USA country only, right? Again, so why should I display that additional columns? Right? Let me read the data. Now you're able to see the data, right? Now you're able to see the data because while writing the data into your target system, you have generated, partitions, right? The partition is your country. Here, if you want to, you can see the data from individual country information also because while writing the data, you have split your number of folders based on your country information with the help of the partition based structure, right? Where this interest. So partition by your country, right? Partition by your country, right? Let me create the same table. Let me create the same table. All right. Create table name. We did drop the same table name. Country using Parquet location correct only. Partition by spelling correct only. Partition. Partition or partition by.
Before location, they used partition.
Before location.
Yeah. After using
Part,
parquet,
part Control X.
After parquet, you can do partition by.
By a partition only. Partition.
Partition by. Partitioned
Partition, right?
by. Space by.
Okay, space. Country, yeah, location. Partitioned. Here difference in Python's. Python syntax.
I think the
Use
column,
for, for
the
partition.
column, the column name is missed after partitioned by. Country should be in braces.
Yeah, now we are able to see the data. Let me execute. Let me execute. Select a star from customer table. Right. 9 records, right? But in your source, how many records? Six. What is the target location? Target location. Parquet data underscore C. What is the table name? Cost table underscore here. Customer data. Let me use customer data -2. Right. So this is the 3 records. Let me execute. Now my target contains how many records? 9 records. Right. 9 records. What the table name? Customer underscore PR. Right. Customer underscore PR. No. Right. Query return no results. But your your file contains some records, right? Your file contains some record. Spark data or read data format Spark dot load dot show. But your file contains some records, right? So more than, I mean, close to 9 records are available, right? 1, 2, I'm using, right? Okay. It contains some records. But when I'm executing select star from cust table underscore par, I'm not able to see that any data, right? I'm not able to see that any data, right? I'm not able to see that. Maybe I had given the wrong path, I think. But still, we're not able to see the zero records, right? Query return no results means zero records, right? Query returned no records, right? If I'm executing this command, we'll see. Cast table underscore par. What's that location? Park data. Correct table cost underscore table. Select a star from cost table underscore. Path rank, we don't have the partitions on this file. This folder, we don't have any partitions. See, now you're able to see the data, right? The same command, right? Cust table underscore pr table, select a star from cust underscore t table underscore pr. So especially whenever you're performing any partition on your data lake file, on your database file system, or maybe your storage, right? When writing the data into your target location, especially with partitions, right? With partitions, right? If any new data available into your table, right? Your file system, if you're trying to execute your queries, right? If you're trying to execute your queries, now you're able to see the data. But on top of it, you should execute your metastore consistency check, because here always it is a schema on read. If any new changes added to your storage system, right? Any new data, right? Any new file system added to your storage system, each and every time we should execute the metastore consistency check, right? Always you should request to your Spark, could you please repair this table with latest schema information. If you're not executing this query, right? If you're not executing this query, it will display the last committed data, right, into this table, right, into this table. But always we should execute the metastore consistency check. I mean, always you have to repair your table, because your data is available in it the partition. If latest any data refreshed on your partitions, right, refreshed on your partitions, so always we have to repair the data. Always we have to repair the data. So this is a one of the disadvantage into the, especially in the current system, this is one of the disadvantage. To overcome this disadvantage, we'll use the delta lake concept. We'll use the delta lake concept. So the second one already we were discussed, right? We can't execute any update statement, right? We can't perform any update statement. Update, what is the table name? Cust table underscore par, cust table underscore set dno equal to 40, where customer ID equal to 101. Right, update destination only support delta sources, right? Even if you try to execute your delete also, delete from delete from where customer ID equal to 101. All right, some error message, right? Some error message, delete from table, no plan for delete, right? It is not expect, I mean, it's not generating any logical plan or physical plan, especially while executing the statement. But these are the disadvantages, right? These are the disadvantages. These are the disadvantages of your the current table. But how can you overcome, right? How can you overcome, especially the repair issue? Plus, I want to perform update operations. I want to perform the delete operations, right? I want to perform the delete operations, right? The methodology name is called delta. All right, the methodology name is called delta. Let me create one table. Create table customer underscore delta, customer underscore delta will create customer ID equal to integer, customer name equal to string, address equal to string. Let me use delta, using delta. So I'm not pointing to any path details. Right. This is my manager tables. Right. Percentage SQL. Let me insert the data. Insert into cost underscore delta values 101. One or two ABC. Let me use percentage SQL. Select star from cost underscore delta. Now you're able to see the two records, right? Now you're able to see the two records. Let me execute update operation. Update cost delta set address equal to customer ID equal to 1. Let me execute. Let me check the data, right? Let me see the data. Let me see the data. MNO operation is available, right? The same operations, let me execute for the normal table, right? Normal table, let me execute the same insert and update, same insert and update without delta. All right, here no need to create anything, right? Simply I'm creating the table, right? Simply I'm creating the table. Let me insert the two records. Let me insert the two records. 101. Yeah, XYZ. What the table name? So this is not a delta table. This is your normal table, right? Without delta table, right? Just I'm creating the table. I'm not using any using option, right? I'm not using any using option. This is your normal table without delta. There is a delta and without delta, right? So let me execute, right? Let me execute. Where is the update statement? Yeah. This is my update statement. Let me change the table name. Right. This is my without delta table, right? Set ID equal to customer ID MNU. Select star from customer underscore W delta. Now you're able to see the two records. Let me try to execute one update operations. Right. Let me use percentage SQL select star from right. Where is that operation? Let me execute my delete operations. Cost delta, right? Let me execute my delete operations. Percentage SQL delete from customer delta where CID equal to 102. CID equal to 102. Right. Rewriting. Right. One record is deleted. Let me execute the same operation in your manager table. The same operations in your menu. We did update, right? We did update. Let me execute the what the table cost underscore cost underscore W delta. But we're planning to delete one or two percentages. Select star from let one not one XYZ, let one not one XYZ. But these are your managed tables, right? Physically you're creating, right? Physically you're creating the same operations, right? The same operations we try to execute on your maybe your location files, right? Your location files, especially whenever you're executing, it's giving that error message update destination only support your delta sources, because this table, right? This table you're not physically you're not physically inserting the data, right? So this data extracted by here from the file systems, right? From the file system. But especially whenever you're performing update operation, delete operation on your manage tables from your location, right? From your location, it's not supporting update and delete operation, right? Update and delete operation. But if you're executing the normal table, that update delete is working. But especially whenever you're creating the table from your location files, it's giving that error message. It will support only the delta sources, right? Only because here this data, right, is kind of your external tables, right? Kind of your external tables. So you're not feeding the data manually, right? Once the data is available in the file location, on top of it you're creating your external table, right? On top of it you're creating your external tables, right? Yes, I want to create that my external tables, right? I want to create my external tables because physically I don't want to insert the data into these tables, right? Once the data is available in this path automatically the data should be available into my table, right? My table plus on top of it I want to perform the my operations, right? I want to perform my operations, right? Let me create the same operations. Let me copy first. Control C. With the table option, create table, create table. Let me create this new file, customer data, right? Customer data, right? Inferential schema equal to, right? Let me use a delta. Let me use the delta, right? Here, the format equal to delta. Format equal to delta. If you want, you can use append mode or overwrite mode also you can use. Overwrite also you can use. Control X, path correct only, right? File store tables delta customer partition by save. Here I'm using that format equal to delta, not parquet. All right. But last class we discussed, right? Your delta, it is a open storage, right? It is a open storage because the data, this is not a format, right? So this is a methodology, but the default format of your delta, it is also parquet because the Spark internal format is now parquet. Let me create one table, customer table, delta. All right. Let me use the same table name. But what is that location? Delta underscore customer. Delta underscore customer using delta operation, using delta partition by location, file store tables delta customer. All right. Let me go and execute this command. Now you're able to see the 6 records, right? Now you're able to see the 6 records. If you want to read the data from this file path location, right? This file path locations. Let me read the data first. Before reading, let me go and check the data files from this location. File store, right? File store tables, cust underscore cust customer for the location, delta, right? Delta, right? Delta customer, your partitions, right? Your partitions, your underscore, your delta log, underscore delta log. You're able to see optimization, right? One CRC files, right? One CRC files. Let me copy. Right, let me check that parquet. Right, let me check that parquet. Before delta file will verify what kind of files were created. Right, file stores, tables, right, this one, right, parquet data underscore CSC, right, customer, right, success, country equal to India, country equal to UK, country equal to USA. Committed files, success files, and part files, right? And part files. Let me select the part files. It is into the Parquet format because explicitly we selected that format equal to Parquet, right? Here the format equal to delta, right? The format equal to delta. But you're able to see one underscore delta underscore log, right? Let me check inside the India. You're able to see that only one part file, right? You're able to see the only one part file. You're able to see the country UK. You're able to see the country underscore USA, country equal to USA. You're not able to see the status, committed, and success rate. You're not able to see, right? But you're able to see one additional folder underscore delta log. That underscore delta log contains your optimization plus you're able to see your JSON data and your CRC files, right? Under your CRC files, right? So because this is that very very important, underscore delta log is very very important. If whatever that operations you're performing, right, inserts, overwrites, deletes, updates, right, on your delta lake, that automatically that information will be available into your JSON file. Let me check the my JSON data. Right, let me see the my JSON data. Let me see the my JSON data. dbutils dot fs dot head command. Let's see your JSON contains proper format configuration. We had status number of records, that minimum value. Alright, this is the minimum value. So this is the your maximum value from each file. From your each file, it contains all your configuration information here, notebook cluster ID, right? Everything it will provide the here values. See, what are the partition columns? Country, right? The created time. Plus, if you observe, there is a add, right? There is a add means you have created the three files, right? India file and the USA file and the UK file. Each and every file, you will see that minimum information also, right? Say, what are the minimum values, right? What are the minimum values? What are the maximum values from this location, I mean India, from that India file also, right, from that India file you will see that minimum value and you will see that maximum value. If you're planning to run that any where condition on your country, if you're planning to apply some aggregations or where conditions, right, it immediately it will come and check the in your JSON file, right, which file, for example, you're planning to execute some filter condition, maybe where 105 record, just as in where 105 records, right, it will check that minimum value maximum value. For example, this maximum value is 110, just as in 110, right, it will go and check, okay, this country equal to India, right, okay, this information is available in which file, minimum value is 101, maximum value is 110, right, 101 110, right, yes, it will go and check the data from this part file, it will pick the data, because you're searching, you're indexing also very fast, because your JSON file, right, your JSON file from your inside the delta log, right, inside the delta log your JSON file contains your completely record information, your record, minimum record and maximum record, plus how many part files were created on each and every location, right, your JSON file will maintain each and every operations, one JSON file will be created inside your delta log. So this is that especially key information to your delta log. Moreover, this information will be created once that information committed, then only that information will be saved into the JSON. If it is a partial commit, because it is atomicity, right? Atomicity means either full completion or failed, not in between, right? There is no partial committed information into your delta log. That's why that users able to see the 100% consistency. You can execute a number of write operations parallelly, still it will do that commit one by one, because once the record is committed, then only you will see that information inside your JSON. If it is partially committed, right, it will not allow this record into your JSON log. Once this information is available, then only your part files will be created, because your JSON file, it will talk about your how many part files are created from your current execution, right, from the current execution, how many part files were deleted also, right, plus each and every file minimum information, maximum information also it will maintain. Let's see here, that minimum value equal to 101, that maximum value equal to 102, right? 101 and 102, right? Each and every location, right? Each and every location you will see, right? Here the minimum value and maximum value, right? So this is your New York data, right? This is your New York data, right? Each and every part file, the minimum, maximum, plus the creation timestamp, right? The partition values, and each and every file size also you will see, right? Each and every file size also you will see inside your delta log. So this kind of information is not available in your normal Parquet file or CSV file. Normal Parquet CSV both are same, right? It will create four different types of files, right? Underscore committed, underscore status, right? I mean success information plus your part files information, right? The part files information. But in your delta you will see one additional underscore delta log folder. You will see that additional underscore delta log contains your optimization information plus your .crc and .json, right? The .crc, it's not contains any, I mean, useful information, but your .json contains how many part files were created into the current execution. Means you will see that a number of JSON files, right? Each and every execution, you will see that one JSON file. The JSON file contains how many part files were created, how many part files were deleted, what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, the number of records of that each file. You will see that information inside your JSON data, because this JSON is available inside your delta log, inside your delta log. So this kind of I mean, information is not available for your Parquet or CSV or JSON or any type of file, right? Any type of file, but only this folder is available for your only delta log. Let me execute this CRC db utils dot fs dot head. This contains, right, how many part files were created, right? How many part files were created, right? Overall, the size, all the sizes, all the three file sizes information is available. But your JSON, individual file information, individual file size, individual file number of records, that minimum value, that maximum value, right? The, I mean, especially your added information, your removed information also. I mean, the Parquet files, I mean, new files added, right? I mean, how many files you were deleted, right? Those kind of information is available into the your document. So this is the key entry for your delta log. This is a key entry for your delta. Once that information is available, right? The parallelly, what are the part files you're creating, right? Once it is committed, only your part files will be created. Once that, I mean, whenever you're executing that query, right? The selected star from your delta table, right? It will come and check the your JSON files, right? Command check the your JSON files, it will extract the data. It will extract the data. Next, let me execute my using delta option, using delta partition by country, location, delta customer. Customer underscore delta, this table is not available. Let me execute syntactically. Right. Let me check the data. Percentage SQL. Right. Percentage SQL. Select. Now you're able to see the 6 records, right? Now you're able to see 6 records. I haven't executed any metastore consistency check, right? Metastore consistency check. But in the previous example, right, post completion of your partition data, whenever you're executing your select statement, the data was not refreshed, right? Right. Let me execute one more query. All right. Override, right? Let me execute the customer hyphen two. Right. Customer hyphen two. But I'm using that overwrite operation. I'm using that overwrite operations. Let me execute. All right. Let me, before executing, let me see the describe. Let me see the describe. Percentage describe table. What is the table name?
The partition by is mandatory, bro, for the delta
Not
creation.
mandate, not mandatory, optional, up to your wish. But if you're doing that partition by, it will see the you will see the good performance. But in your project, they don't want to create their partitions, then we should not create, right?
Okay.
But you will see the good performance if you create the partition, right? Describe table. This is your non-delta table, cluster table underscore PR. But the metastore consistency check, the partition by is mandatory. For normal tables, the partition by is not mandatory. Right? Normal table, right? You will see the latest information. But whenever you're executing your partition by, right? Partition by metastore consistency check is mandatory. For non-delta, I'm talking for non-delta is mandatory. Now I'm executing my describe command on my non-delta table. Let me execute the same command from my delta table. From my delta table. I think both are same. Then we'll execute the history. Right. CAD, right? It is kind of it is your describe command in Oracle, right? Describe command in your Oracle, right? You are able to see that the partition column here also you are able to see the your partition column, right? Partition column, the country, the partition column, the country. In the last class we discussed it is the history auditing, right? Let me use the percentage SQL describe. See here version equal to 0, right? Version equal to 0. Same, let me execute the same command for non-delta, right? Non-delta table, let me execute. Describe history. This is your history auditing, right? Customer delta. So this is our non-delta table, right? Non-delta table. Let me execute. Where is the command here? So this is my non-delta, right? So the describe history is only supported for delta tables, only for non-delta tables, right? You will not see that history information. Means it will not maintain any versioning, right? It will not maintain any versioning because history audit is available only for delta tables. See, what is that version? 0, the timestamp, user ID, that username, that operation, what kind of operation we did? Write operations, right? We did write operations plus the mode also overwrite mode, the partition by, right? That notebook ID information. Even you can get your cluster ID, right? You can get your cluster ID plus you're able to see 3 part files, right? Right? The number of part files are 3, right? The number of part files are 3. The number of output rows are 6, right? The number of output bytes are 3401. So this information, right, you're able to see inside the CRC, right? Inside the CRC file also you are able to see, right? From the CRC file and from the JSON files also you can see that number of part files information, right? Number of part files information, right? But this is nothing but your history audit, your history audit. Let me execute one more time. Let me execute one more time my data. Right, let me read the data. All right, where is this? All right, let me go and execute. All right, how many? 3 records, right? 3 records. Let me execute this customer table data. Right, customer table delta. Now, how many records you're able to see? 3 records, right? the same query we were executed earlier without delta, right? It was written query return no records, maybe the previous data, right? The previous data, right? The previous data, because always it is a schema on read, right? Moreover, you had used the partition by columns. Partition by columns. Whenever you're using partition by columns, if any new feed, right, enter into that your partition, I mean your location, especially from the partition columns, right? Always we should execute metastore consistency check, right? Metastore consistency check. Now here I want to execute my metastore consistency check because your delta log folder, already it's refreshed, right? Already it's refreshed. So that's why no need to execute your metastore consistency check on for especially for your delta table if it is having any the partition column, if it is having that partition column. So let me see that history, right? Let me see that history, right? Let me see that history, right? In the previous example, right? The previous example that history equal to only one, but now, so you had done one more operation, right? You had done one more operation. Whether your version you will see that only one record or you will see that only two records, because the two operations are executed, right? Let me execute. Now you're able to see the two records, right? Version 0 and the version 1. Version 0 and the version 1, right? For each and every record, right? Each and every record, right? You're able to see the complete information. Right? Each and every record, you're able to see the complete information. Let me execute the data, right? Let me execute percentage SQL, select star from, what the table name? See my table, right? Let me execute. You're able to see the only three records, right? But what about the six records? You're not able to see the six records, right? You're not able to see the six records because you have done which operation? Overwrite operation, right? You have done that overwrite operation while writing the data into your target location. You have done that overwrite. Overwrite means that existing data will be deleted and the new feed introduced into the your target location, right? Your target location. Let me go and check the my delta file, correct? Customer, that country equal to India, or at country equal to USA, country equal to UK. But you're able to see the multiple part files, right? But you have the only three records. But UK, right, you're able to see the two part files, right? UK, you're able to see two part files. But you have the only one record. Why you're able to see the two part files? Even USA also two part files. India also two part files. Let me go and check the my delta log. Right, how many JSON files you're able to see? Two JSON files, right? Two JSON files, right? So this is your one JSON file and this is your another JSON file, right? Another JSON file. Let me go and check the this JSON. Where is the JSON? Right. So this is your JSON file, right? This is your JSON file. Customer name, right? This information is available. We have that one more JSON, right? Ending with one, right? Ending with one. Let me go and check the ending with one file. Right. So this is your customer information file. Plus you're able to see, right, that maximum value and the minimum value of each and every file information, right? Where is that notebook? Writable number. Add information, right? Now you have added this part file into, right? You have part file into. Plus let me check my CRC file. Right? Let me check my CRC files. Underscore one, right? Underscore. Right. The table size bytes, the number of three files, metadata, right? Plus if you observe here, right, if you observe in this file. If you observe in this file, right, let me copy, Control C. Let me cluster ID, operation, operation matrix, right, partition values. This is your maximum value. Right. This is your customer ID, customer name, location. A department number, and see here, you're able to see the remove information, right? Right. You're able to see the remove, right? Inside the remove, right? This file was already deleted, right? This file was already deleted from your part file, but you're able to see this part file, right? And which is location, country equal to India, ending with D9.C000, right? Let me go to your country India, C000, right? This file you're able to see from that JSON. This file was deleted, right? This file was deleted, right? B9 C000. This is D9 C000. This file was deleted from your latest JSON, right? Because you have done that overwrite operations, but still you're able to see this data, right? Still you're able to see the data because it is a history auditing. It is a history auditing. But whenever you're executing your data, right, whenever you're executing your data from your table, it will take that only the latest information, mean the latest version. All right, it will not extract the data from this highlighted file. It will extract the data from which are only active files, which were not deleted, from your delta log, right? Which were not deleted from your delta log. Only those records will be extracted from your delta table, but still you will see the your deleted records also will be available into that your path, but still these records also available, but these records you will not see whenever you're executing select star from your delta table. Right, whenever you're executing select star from delta table means it will take that always, right, active record files, not removed files or not deleted files, not deleted files, right? So that is that one of the advantage in the delta, right? Now you're able to see the two versions, right? Now you're able to see the two versions. Now then I have realized, no, so this is the wrong, right? This latest file, right? This latest file, maybe I'm not happy with this latest file, right? I'm expecting maybe my previous information, but how can I extract my previous information data? How can I extract my previous information data? At the rate v0, at the rate v0, right? Now you're able to see your old records, right? Now you're able to see that old records. So these records were extracted from your deleted files, right? Which were deleted, right? Which were deleted, right? So based on your version, so this version, right, from this version v0, it will go and check inside your delta log. Okay, he's executing any specific version, so this specific version, right, the JSON file, it will open this specific version, right? The part files, right, the part files data will be extracted from your select statement, from that select statement. So that is that one of the advantage in your delta, right? Means this is you can go with your back versioning also, right? Back versioning, right? You can extract your previous data also, right? Simply you can execute your select star from at the rate your which version you want to extract, right? Which version you want to extract, which version you want to extract. Either you can go with your version number, or you can go with your timestamp as of your value also, you can mention up to your wish. Right. So this is one of the advantage in the delta, because you have that history audit information. Right? You have that history audit information. Your audit will contain all the histories information, all the histories information. So from that history, you can extract. You can extract yes which file you want to. I mean which read. Here I am executing, right. Here I am not mentioning any version number, right? Any version number. It will extract the data from your latest version. Latest version. Your latest version. So let me do some update operation. Right? Let me do some update operations. SQL 8 customer delta. Only three records. Right? Only three records. Let me change this customer ID 3 equal to department number 30. Customer ID equal to 3. Customer ID equal to 3. Alright. DNO equal to 30. Customer ID equal to 3. Let me execute. Now I'm able to execute update operation. Right? The same operation we were executed in the previous example for parquet, right? The parquet we are using parquet, that location, the manage table, right? We were created the manage table, especially from your file path. But whenever I'm executing that operations, it's giving error message, right? It supports only delta, right? It supports only delta. Now I have done one operation, right? I have done one operation. What about my delta log? What about my delta log? Right? Let me check my delta log. Right? Delta log. Right. Let me go to the customer. India country, right? India country. Earlier it was only two part files, right? Now how many part files? Now you're able to see three part files, right? Because one of that operation happened on your delta file, right? One of the, because you're executing your operation on the table, right? Automatically it will impact on your files also, right? It will impact on your files. But why you're able to see the three part files? Now you had done one operation on country equal to India, right? Let me use the country equal to USA, two files, country UK also two files. But India, you're able to see the three part files. Let me check the delta log, whether do we have the three JSON files or two JSON files. Three JSON files, three CRC files, right? The latest JSON contains, right, which files you are deleted, right? Which files you are deleted, plus which file you are added, right? Plus that minimum information, maximum information is available in your .json. Right? Each and every operation, insert, update, delete, overwrite, each and any operations you are executing, right? It will create one part file. It will create one part file. Plus that metadata information also will be maintained into that your JSON. Correct. Let me means we are able to execute update operation on your delta tables, right? Delta tables. Let me execute my history. Right? Let me here is my history information. Right here, that operation is right. Let me go and execute it. Now you're able to see the three versions, right? Right, 0, 1, 2, right? What is your operation? It is an update. Why this is write operation? Because I'm using data frame dot write, right? Data frame dot write. The mode is overwrite. The mode is overwrite. The mode is overwrite. Right? Here you can see here all that information. Right? all that information. So you will able to see number of removed files 1, number of copied rows 0, number of added changed files 0, execution time, scan time, number of added files 1, because it was removed, right? It was removed from one of the existing part file, then again it was created into the new part file. Number of updated rows equal to 1. Here you're able to see, because I'm using the write method, the number of part files were created, right? Number of part files were created. If you want to extract the data from other version, right, you can use the @v0 or v1, right, @v0, right. Let me execute percentage SQL, select star from customer delta. It will take the data from your latest version, right? ABC India, right? ABC India. Let me use my version 1. Right, 1, 2, 3. Right, you can use this. Right, you can use old data, right? This is your version 1. Your version 1, your department number equal to null, right? Your latest version, your department number equal to 30. Or a department number equal to 30. Right. Even you can do the your back dates also. If you can, I mean, re-extract the data from your old history also. So this kind of facility is not available. This kind of facility is not available in your Parquet, right? I mean, not only Parquet, non-delta tables, right? Non-delta tables, right? We don't have that any history auditing, all right? We don't have any history auditing. So that history auditing information will extract from your delta log folder, right? From your delta log folder. Right. In from the delta log folder, you will maintain all the versions information, the timestamp information, how many files were added, how many files were removed, right? What is the minimum, right? What is the maximum value of each and every part files information you're maintaining, right? So that's where delta files, your delta tables will give files will give the good performance, because that information will be available into the while extracting the data, it will go and see the delta log, right, which are committed only information will be extracted from your select statement. If it is not committed, you will not see that information. Clear, right? Right.
So,
If you want
sir,
to,
how many versions of Delta log by default
I
Databricks
think
will
seven,
hold,
I
sir?
think 7 days, not
Seven.
versions. I mean, that you should talk about the old data, right? I think 7 days. But I think explicitly we can do the changes maybe in the Spark configuration. I think we can do. But the default, I think 7 days. The 7 days I'm talking about inactive data. I'm talking about the inactive data only the 7 days.
Okay, sir.
168 hours. 168 means, yeah, 7 days. 24 into 700. Yeah, 168 hours.
So this second thing, sir, this will not have any physical existence, right, sir? This table. I mean, it's kind of a files it will be stored as, right, sir? But when we will tell, we will call it as Delta Lake, but at backend it will be kind of a files only, right, sir?
Right. This table is available, right? This is a manager table, right? Cost table data. Right? Table is there, right? This is a manager table.
Table is there, but physical
But
data will not be
the
stored.
data is not physical because I'm using the location, right?
Okay, sir.
See here, the same history is available, right? Right. The same history information. Right? But if you go and see other table, customer table, right? There is no history, not customer table. Let me check other thing. Customer test. This is also I think delta table. Let me customer PF. You're not able to see the history, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
history is not available, right? If you want customer delta, right? There is a history, right? You're able to see the details, everything.
Any limitation, bro, for
This
version?
is
How many versions we can store?
how many
Versions we can store, like
you can store a number of versions, right? Each and every operation one version, right?
yeah. There
Each
is
and
no
every
limit. There is no
no
limit.
version, because every day you're writing the data, right?
Yes.
If you are writing the data, one version only, right? I mean, you should not ask how many versions. You should ask how about inactive data, right? You should ask how about inactive data. That inactive data, that maximum 7 days only. That maximum default option 7 days. Maybe explicitly we can do the changes, but depends on your project. In case your project, if you want to add that additional option, maybe we can do the changes. We can do the changes. Otherwise, in case no, I don't want to go with the changes. Let me go with only the 7 days. Right, automatically the old files will be deleted. In case if you don't want to keep 7 days, then you should delete that your old files with the help of the vacuum keyword. Right, unnecessarily it is a space issue, right? If you, for example, you're maintaining the too much history, inactive record means the files were deleted, right? If you maintain a number of deleted files, unnecessarily the space occupied, right? The space occupied by your storage, right? But
Yes. Yes. So
I
the
mean, in
files,
case, right,
the files will be deleted, but the version number is there available in table.
correct, you're right. The version number is available in your table, right? The version number is available in your table. But still physically the files are available until unless if you delete it. Physically this is available, but whenever you're executing select star from your delta table, right, you will not see the data because your crc, right, your crc, right, I mean not your crc, your delta log, right, your delta log will extract the data from only,
Latest.
I mean latest data, not from the deleted, not from the removed files, not from the removed files. Whenever you're performing the update operation, delete operations, right? Update operation, delete operations, it will delete and it will create the new file. Now we have that only 2-3 records. Right now, we have, for example, your one of the file contains 100 records. Out of 100, I'm talking about one part file. I'm talking about one part file. For example, maybe this US country UK contains one part file. It contains, for example, 100 records. 100 records. Physically, you are deleted one record. Delete from your part file where some country equal to UK, some customer ID. Right, out of 100 records you are deleted one record, right? Then at that time this part file, right, it will delete one record and it will recreate it with 99 records. It will recreate it with 99. It will recreate it with 99 because you are deleted, right? You already were deleted that part files, right? But 99 records also they're available into that part file, right? That's why Spark is very clever, right? That's why it will do one additional operation. Let me extract which records were deleted, which records were not deleted. Not deleted, it will extract, it will create the new part file, right? New part files, right? It will delete that existing part files. Existing. If you are doing that update operation also, the same thing. If you perform the update operations also, change the records, it will create the new file. Not change the records, again it will create the new file. Right? Each and every operation you will see one added and one removed from the your backend, your data. Clear, right? So the especially that all that operations will operate from your underscore delta log. Yes, you can perform your update, you can perform your delete. Let me execute the delete also. Delta lake, right? Delta lake. Delete from where? Correct. Let me execute. You're able to see two records, right? You're able to see the two records. Let me execute my describe history, describe history. How many versions? Four versions, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. See that operation, delete operation. That operation is delete. Right? Copied rows, these things also you can see. Right? Select a star from version 3. Let me use. Right? You're able to see that only the latest two records. Right? You're able to see the latest two records. Both are same, right? The latest maximum and both are same. Calibrate V2. This also you can do. Version as of two. Timestamp as of also you can use. Timestamp, I think. Timestamp, timestamp. Let me check in the JSON file. What that exact value? Timestamp. Now you're able to see the data. You can use version or timestamp as of. Timestamp also you can use. Clear, right? Even if you want, you can spark.read.format delta, the load, you can use complete the file path details also. If you want, you can use that information. Right. Percentage SQL spark select star from delta dot backwards. What is the path? The target path. This also possible. This also we can let me try at the rate. But in case if you want to read the data, all right, you can use spark data, read data, format delta, load. You can use the specific version number also to read your data frame. Read your data frame also possible. This is also possible. Or spark dot read dot format delta. This is possible. All right, which version you want to extract? You can mention your version number. You can mention your version.
If I want to extract a specific row from two versions, can I?
Sorry.
If I want to extract a single row, for example, 102, CID 102, from history and as current way.
I mean, create two data frames, right? Or you can use union, right?
Okay, using data frame and union on that.
Why did I mean Spark is here? We should either you can use Spark is here. Let's select start or the table name. We have I think we don't have data.
At the rate version.
But do we have the, no? First of all, do we have the data? We'll see. Percentage is still. But union, all right. We're using union. Duplicate, right? Right.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, you can use your version number. You can see that old and the new.
Okay.
So that is one of the big advantage in the Delta Lake. These kind of facilities are not available any technology, right?
Yes.
You can do your pre-snapshot, you can do your current snapshot also. Also depends on your limitations. Depends on your by default, I think 7 days, but depends on the maybe limitations. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Tomorrow we'll implement type 1, type 2 with the help of the Delta Lake concept. Now you're clear, right? Update, delete will execute on Delta. That normal tables, especially that using, I'm talking about the managed tables from the CSV files, right? There we can't execute your delete update operations. But if it is a delta, if it is a managed table also, still if it is a delta file, still we can perform update delete operations. Mean we can maintain that history auditing also, right? You can, I mean, take your back dates also, right? You can go and take your back dates also possible. Right? You can do the your back dates also possible.
Sumant, is there a way to identify number of versions involved for a particular record?
For particular?
Particular row or record?
No, right. It's not possible.
Okay. I think
Because all-
previous urinal will
Right, all the records you
give
will see the
results if you know that it's something is already there in a particular version. Okay.
Each and every record we are not having any specific stamping, right? If deleted, you will see you can go and extract that version, right? For example, if they're not deleted, you will see that all the records from the latest version.
Yeah, I understand, but just trying to understand, let's say there are multiple updates happened on the same record based on the key, just to identify what has been changed from these versions.
You can see the data, for example, maybe in 0, you will see that 101, 1 also, you will see that 101, 2 also, you will see that 101, 3 also, you will see the 101, right? But the changes, yes, you will see that maybe, for example, in that 1, you were deleted the data. For example, in the 1, you were not deleted, 2, maybe you were deleted 102. Here, you will see that 102 record, maybe here, you may not see, right? But not deleted records, you will see that all the versions, right?
Yeah, understand. This is only the way, I think that's what
Correct, correct. Only this is the way from that version. Clear, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Others?
So, but in one more last thing. So in Delta Lake as well, we always delete and create a table, right?
The drop and recreate, up to your wish. If you want, you can go and drop and recreate.
Okay, but still, if you drop and recreate, it will still points to all those delta log and everything when we recreate with the same name.
Yeah, because anyway you're doing that overwrite operation, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. That overwrite nothing but drop and recreate only, right?
My point is, even though if you completely drop the table and reload it, still when the history is available,
Correct.
It will still read from those files when you recreate it.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, here in Delta Lake, sir, suppose in source file, let's say, sir, till yesterday we had 4 columns, sir. Okay, and today all of a sudden source sent some unusual column, 1 or 2 columns extra. At that time, how we will handle this, sir? Like
The
we will
merge
be
schema, we have to use the merge schema equal true. Automatically your schema will be overwrite.
merge schema is equal to 2.
Merge schema true option. In that option, while writing the data into your delta, so we have that option merge schema. True option we have to use. Then automatically your schema will be overwrite.
Okay, sir. But after that, after 1 or 2 days, again, business will come and say, okay, this was not I was expecting. It was a wrong from source
So you
end.
can take the data from your old version, right?
Correct. And these versions are all operation based versions, sir. Like operation based means like if you are writing some data or update, delete, insert, all these operation kind of data, it will be stored in the versioning, sir.
Correct.
And if that is the case, you said we will have 7 kind of thing, 7 versions or max of
7 days,
160.
7 days, right?
7 days, sorry, 7 days, max of 7 days data, right? So post 7 days data, we may not be able to retrieve, right, sir?
Correct. Default, I think there is no option, but maybe explicitly, I think there is an option. We can do the settings also in the retain option. I think we can do the settings, but not sure. But the default 7 days, but there is an option. I think I'm sure there is an option. Right. For example,
And that option is a cost based one for Databricks, sir.
Not cost one, right? Your space, right? Unnecessarily, you're increasing your space, right? In your file storage. From the Databricks point of view, nothing, right? Because what is the Databricks? It's maintaining one history. From this history, it is extracting the data, right? From your
Correct.
delta log, right? From your delta log. But physically, the data is available in your storage, right?
Right, sir. But where is this storage stored, sir? This storage, what we are showing, DBFS.
Right.
It is kind of mount which we have done.
Right. Azure only, right? Based on your storage of your target location, right?
Right, sir. Okay.
Right, your target location. But here I'm using the DBFS, but in the real time, right, it is the Azure store that mount ADLS only, right?
Okay, sir. Got you, sir.
Clear, right? So partitions are not mandatory, but if you use that partition, you see the good performance. No, you don't need partitions. Means yes, go and create into that only one folder, but you will see that a number of part files. You will see that a number of part files. But delta log is by default it will create underscore delta log. Then you will see that a number of partitions here. Inside these three files will be C here. If you're not using that any partition by. If you want, you can do the partition year, month, day wise, or any specific department wise or country wise up to your wish. But partition always will give the good performance on your where condition, right? Always it will give the where, because if you're using that where country called India, right, it will go and check the data from only this country India. If you're not partitioning, right, it will scan the data from that all the files, right? The advantage of partition, it will improvise your where class, kind of your indexing, right? Kind of your indexing. Clear, right? Yeah, tomorrow we'll check, especially that AC type 1, type 2, with the help of the delta. We'll use the merge statement. Now you're clear, right? You can execute insert update. With the help of the insert update also, we can implement the SCA type 1. Right now we are using the delta because the previous example we were implemented type 1, type 2, type 3 without delta, right? We followed the some process, right? We follow the process left join, inner join, right? We are reading the data from the target and excluded and combined and overwrite, right? Here directly you can do that operations, update also you can do, insert also you can do. If you don't want to write two operations, right, then you can go and use the merge operations. Both merge also nothing but a combination of insert and update, right? Merge your target using your source on your join condition. When matched, go and do that update. When not matched, then go and do the insert, right? The same operations. The two operations you can go with. You can implement with the help of the single command that is called merge. All right, merge will execute on your delta tables. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll connect tomorrow. I think Uday and Divya is having joining, right? At 9:30, right, Uday? I think already he left. Okay, we'll connect tomorrow.
They are joining, sir. Today they are joining.
Sorry?
Today they are joining, sir.
Yeah, today.
Joining
Yeah.
date.
Divya, today only,
Congratulations.
you're joining date, Divya?
Yes, Suman,
Okay,
today
yeah.
only.
All the best. Okay.
Thank you.
All the best. Yeah.
I think maybe Uday went to shop to purchase some maybe suit, I think. Anyway, that is virtual joining, right?
Oh, photo shoot also will be there,
I
right,
think
sir?
maybe photo shoot, I think, yeah. Anyway, lockdown, right? 6 to 10 o'clock, right? The shop timings. Okay. All the best both, okay?
All the
Thank
best to
you.
both. Yeah.
The same company, right? You both are joining?
Yeah, same
Okay.
company.
Yeah.
Which company, sir, it is? Forgot what.
Infogame.
Infogain.
Hmm.
Okay, it's Hyderabad-based organization.
Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Yeah. Bangalore.
Oh, Bangalore. Good. Okay.
Right, Chandrababu Bala. Right, waiting for good news from you both. Maybe post Corona you will try the job, but during that Corona.
There is no post-Corona, sir. Corona is going to have many versions.
May-
Like how in Delta Lake we have 7 days. It is going to have many versions, sir.
but still, but they are not really. They are thinking maybe Corona will disappear.
As per Sadhguru, it will be retain 6 years. It will
6
be there
years.
for
Sadhguru
6
has
years.
told you, huh?
As per Sadhguru,
Okay, okay. It will be there for 6 years, he has told.
yes.
Okay, good, good. At least we'll
Only in
live.
India or
6 years.
across the world.
Huh?
Across the world.
Okay, 6 years. Huh?
Will it be in the same avatar or it is going to take another avatars also? Bala?
Anyway, Chinese are there, right? They will inject new mutants.
Chinese will inject new mutants. Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah. All the best. Okay.
All the best. All the the best.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thanks. Thank you. We'll connect
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.